Well, Nicholas Coriano here, author of over 1,000 business plans for clients, business school graduate, law school graduate, Wall Street veteran. And I'm here to share with you a corporation's bylaws template. Let me share the screen with you guys. And this is a corporation bylaws template. I have it for sale on servitude.com, but I want to run through the sections that you should be including in your bylaws. Of course, the name of the organization and some of the definitions, and then the purpose of your corporation. In this case, we put in a little section here. For most people, the corporation bylaws state a general purpose. So it could be, for example, for any legal purpose. That's what most lawyers put in the bylaws, for any legal purpose. If you want to be more specific in your bylaws, you can state exactly what you're trying to do. So if you're a real estate company, you could say for real estate purposes, for real estate development purposes. Now be careful with the purposes and objectives, because if you put a direct or specific purpose in your bylaws, then if you do something else in the corporation, it'll go against the bylaws and it'll technically be illegal. So for example, if you put, in this situation, it was a nonprofit bylaw, but let's say we're a real estate company, we put for the development of real estate in the purpose section. And then one day the real estate market tanks and you decide to use the company to sell t-shirts. Then you're going against your bylaws and it's technically illegal. So be careful here. Most people put a general statement for purposes. Other sections are governing laws. So most corporations, if you don't have bylaws, will end up being governed by state corporate laws. But state corporate laws can be overruled by your bylaws. This does not mean that you can put something illegal in your bylaws, but it basically means that your bylaws can control your corporation in terms of how many votes it takes to remove a board of director, how many votes it takes to put in a new CEO, etc. Non-discrimination policy, limitations on activities. Again, most of these bylaws state that for any legal purpose, right? Then we have memberships. This corporation have no members. You could have members if you wanted to. Then directors, right? The power of the directors, the additional meetings, the notice of meetings, quorum, meaning how many board members have to be in a meeting in order for you guys to transact business, voting rights, right? So you can change this, right? So some people put, each board of directors shall be entitled to one vote, and the president shall have an additional vote to be a tiebreaker, right? Some people put, the votes will be dictated depending on how many shares of common stock you have, for example. So this states removal, resignation, vacancies in committee, all the rules basically delineating for your board of directors. And then officers, these are elections, vacancies, power and duties of the president, power and duties of the vice president, powers and duties of the secretary, the treasurer, the delegation, removal and resignation. So again, it really delineates how you're going to get these people in and out of office, the bylaws. And this is usually where people put, golden parachutes. Well, not usually, but sometimes they put in golden parachutes or, poison pills, meaning, and you can look at my other videos, I talk about poison pills a little bit. But basically, it's like, if you move this director, he will be entitled to X compensation. So it just prevents people or deters people from removing these people. And then it goes into your bank accounts, checks, contracts, and investments. Indemnification, meaning, the corporation shall indemnify the person or not indemnify the person. Again, these can be altered. Basically means that the corporation will take the liability off of the directors. And then we scroll down here. Dissolution just basically states what's going to happen if there is a dissolution. Any amendments, right? Do you need a majority vote by the directors for the amendments? And then, construction. So in the case of any conflict between the certificate of a corporation and these bylaws, the certificate of the corporation shall control. Most people do this the other way around. They say the bylaws will control. So usually you have some attorney or, some agency form your LLC or corporation, in this case, a corporation. And this basically states that, hey, if there's ever any conflict, right, one or the other document will control. Most people like the bylaws to control because you can change the bylaws in-house. You don't have to go back to the Secretary of State to change the bylaws. So keep that in mind. And then just the signatures. when this thing was adopted. So those are just general sections of the bylaws. These can get very intense. I've seen bylaws go up to 100 pages with large corporations, but usually when you're first starting, you want to keep it short. If you want to download this bylaw template, I'm going to put a link underneath this video and you can download that. But those are the major sections of any bylaw agreement. Bylaws for a corporation. If you need help developing a customized, tailored bylaws for your corporation, also hit me up in the links below. I can definitely help you. I've done that for clients below. I hope this was helpful, and we'll talk again on the next video.